So he led me to believe he was going to kill himself just to set up a joke. So it's like, hey, I'm hanging out with the Rick and Morty guy.
I don't remember any of this, but it's for sure it's true.
Yeah, I kept the voicemail. My niece, who's only 10, and it's completely inappropriate for her to watch the show, loves to listen to it over and over again. But you guys have created my favorite animated series of all time. Now,
oh my God! Look at the weird Morty pillow thing. What is that? What even is that? Oh my!
Where?
Throw it in the air. The giant weird. No, I mean don't lose it. But wow.
Wait, how do you know that's a Morty pillow?
Well, like tilt it the other way. There you go. There it is.
Okay.
There's someone with too much time on their hands.
It's just
betting.
so I'm not a fan of panels where like somebody sits up there and is like, so, and then asks you like a real basic interview question. I always think it's the good people who come here and support it. Like,
I see a few Ricks out there.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, dude, there's like a Muppet Rick over there. It looks like Beaker from the Muppets. Meat.
That's meth head Rick.
Oh, jeez, Rick. We got a real Muppet Rick.
Morty, meat.
Oh, man. What the hell? Meat. Look at that Rick. That's amazing. Is the eye hole where the mouth is? It's got to be, right? Yeah. Okay.
I was Captain Crunch in Milwaukee. I had to be Captain Crunch for a promotion that they were doing, and I could see through the Captain Crunch mouth. That's what I would look at the kids through when they would hit me. I'd grab them and go, knock it off. And so the kid would just have Captain Crunch's mouth right in their face. Knock it off. I'm 23. No one will believe you.
I was going to say, what year is this where someone's like, look, Captain Crunch is hot?
Yeah, well, they were trying to make it hotter. These kids are too young, but Captain Crunch had a promotion that was who's the real captain. The captain had been cloned, and so there were Captain Crunches throughout the country wandering around.
Sci-fi levels.
I was one of them. Unfortunately, I was one on ice skates at Milwaukee's Winterfest.
Did that pay well?
Yeah, they paid some minimum wage, and guess what happens when a human pillow goes out on an ice rink with a bunch of 6-year-olds?
Oh, no.
All right, back to the show. Yeah. Excelsior.
So Ming, do you have anyone with a question?
Who's got a question here? Over here, I'm here on the
Oh, come on, I'm ready over here.
Right here.
You
gentleman
suck,
here.
Ming.
Quick,
There's your question, Brian, right over here. Look over here.
Where am I?
I'm right here, you got it.
Okay. There we go.
Like I said, we only have 25 minutes.
So there are so many really great, memorable characters on the show, but Mr. Meeseeks has to be my personal favorite.
Mr. Meeseeks! I'm Mr. Meeseeks!
Where did that come from? What was that born out of? How did you find that character?
I mean, I'd have to give a little credit to Mike Chillian, my friend, I think, because he had a cat named Ski-Seeks, which, by the way, this is all years later, I realized, like I was like, oh my God, I think I was tapping into hearing his cat's name, but we were in the writer's room we had some story, whatever the story was, and I was like, this isn't fun. This isn't fun. It should be fun, and I'm on my back, rolling around.
I remember you rolling around on the floor, and I was like looking at Ryan Ridley, and we were talking about the story has to have. I was like, can we just do this show? Just like look at him, and he was just like, I'm Mr. Meeseeks.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks.
Look, his name's Mr. Meeseeks. Work with him. That's our job.
And then we were like, well, okay, Harmon was like, all right, well, Mr. Meeseeks, okay, we'll put that in. That'll be part of it.
And then we ripped off Scud the Disposable Assassin.
Yeah. It's like the opposite, though, because the Meeseeks are trying to die, whereas Scud is trying to stay alive. You see the difference? Legally safe. Our friend Schraub can't sue us.
I don't think he ever copyrighted those books. I watched him publish them on his kitchen table.
Yeah.
Before one more question, I have to say, when I say that the show is my favorite animated show of all time, I knew it when it was the episode where Rick and Morty, they go into the battery, they go into another world, and it's like, must keep summer safe.
Yeah.
And they create that virtual reality, like, kid who comes out of the thing.
Oh my
And
God,
it's
I
like, your
love
loved ones
that.
can be brought back.
Yeah.
They can also be taken away. I was like, that is the darkest thing I've ever seen on television. Like, I rewound it to make sure I saw it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take credit for that idea because I wanted to explore the idea that security can hurt so much more. But the idea of rules that people can't get hurt, the idea of ratings, TV 14, and explicit lyrics and things. It's like you're just gonna have to go to a darker place to affect people.
Dude, it was insane. I was like, what person came up with this?
Yeah.
Now I know.
Alan Tudyk did the voice of the cop, which I thought was incredible. You guys fans of Firefly? Anybody? Alan Tudyk. Just an incredible performance. I felt like a really grounded, emotional, yeah. And that episode in general is incredible. It's just a good episode. It's Dan Guterman's script, right? One of Guterman's, I think. Who is a writer on the show?
I'll fanboy out for a second and say there's not a bad episode.
Honestly.
Question over here to the left. Right over here, your questions.
So,
To
will
your
we ever
left.
see a return of Operation Kitten Calendar, possibly?
Oh man, that's a deep cut. Deep cut.
That was Donald Trump before he was really.
Before we knew what was going to happen.
If you can find Operation Kitten Calendar on the internet, we did a VH1 sketch show a long time ago, and Justin played a character who had a reality show. It was a very Trump-esque kind of tycoon who had become famous by making the Hang In There Kitten Calendar picture, and so his reality show was kind of part Project Runway, part God knows what. And it was him trying to.
Competition-based reality.
It was just him physically or psychologically abusing the female contestant that he wanted to date. And
Check it out. Google it. Operation Kitten Calendar. Also, Mr. Sprinkles was like the first thing I feel like it was like the first animated thing that we did together. It's sort of a precursor to Rick and Morty. If you haven't seen Mr. Sprinkles, check that one out too. If you can find it online. No idea where it is.
We have a question from one of the Council of Ricks. There you go.
Can I see you guys do the Swifty dance? Show us what you
No.
got. Show us
No
what
way,
you got.
dude. Harmon will do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't that involve dropping your panties and shitting on the floor? I can't do that. I can't do that.
We don't want to get arrested.
I just watched her sign shit, so that was pretty cool. Thank you, Dan. I've always wanted to see that.
It has to be great to come
Sorry.
up with a
like
show
we
that
left
you're
you.
like, this is so out of the box, and not know how people are going to react, and then know there are so many like-minded people out there that are like, no, this is the kind of shit we want.
Well, that's the amazing thing about you can't even just say the internet because the internet existed for so long, but at a certain tipping point, it was I noticed around the time when Lost was on the air, before I made Community, thank you. What we were seeing happening with Lost's fan base was, we don't have to be. We're all, every single human being in America, possibly the planet, but let's just assume America's the only nuts people. Like we have this religious relationship with television. We obsess about stuff, but in the days of TV Guide being our only recourse to knowing what was going on with the shows and stuff, everybody would just go, I'm ashamed of myself for being obsessed with Cheers. I'm ashamed of myself for being obsessed with these things. And then when Lost came around just at the time when it was right, they were putting treasure maps and secret codes and things, and the audience was saying, yes, I'm obsessed with the show, and the show was saying, that's okay. We want you to be more obsessed with it. And what we find out is that 1 million people watching your show is quite a lot of people, because obsession level counts for a lot of merchandising dollars, if you want to be crass. But
A lot of fan theories.
It counts for a lot of cultural efficacy, a lot of off-channel marketing. I mean, it's a great time to make TV.
And also, how is Rick gonna get out of that pickle, right? At the end of season 2. You guys probably have a bunch of fan theories about how that goes down.
All right, what is the Swifty dance? What is it?
Give him some Swifty, Harmon. Give him. Yeah! It's Swifty time today. How does the lyrics go? Oh God. You better sing it. Come on. Give Dan the song. Yeah. By the way, I just want to say that all of those songs were like Turner licensed like music that we made for the little point and click adventure game, and it was like I just went in and like sang over them I didn't care. I was like I just went in and did them for the game, and then we kept listening to them while we were writing season 2, and Harmon was like, we have to use this song.
Yeah. All those songs were generated for Summer's iPod in the first Rick and Morty video game, which was an online point and click adventure.
Yeah.
The rushed license adventure.
Yeah, you can still play it. It's still on AdultSwim.com.
Summer has an iPod in there, so Justin was just filling the iPod with Summer's music.
Yeah. There was no thought or time or like they weren't written. It wasn't like it was just okay. Let's just get these done really quick.
But what about you? What is it like in Asgard?
We get Rick and Morty, that's all I care about. And Community, another show that like
Same dance.
honestly at first I was like, oh, the Jeff Winger guy, I don't know. He was on Talk Soup. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Somebody was like,
felt
dude,
the same way.
they were like, dude, you're gonna love this show.
I really
watched it and I'm like, it's awesome.
Joel McHale, I heard, wanted to audition for that part. Not audition even, just was interested in the part. And I watched The Soup and I thought the same thing. This guy can't. He's too.
This piece of shit.
He's too cynical. He's too jaded. He's too witty. You know, I need somebody soft and with a. And then he came in and he never auditioned for me anyway because sitting and talking to him on the sofa, I was like, this is the guy because he has that like crazy David Spade exterior. But that's the irony is how warm and human he is underneath.
But shout out to Joel.
Just like Iron Man. Just like Iron Man.
Oh my God, it's Megatron. Oh my goodness gracious.
That's one of the things.
Oh no! Shit! He's pointing the gun at us. And as we all know, Megatron's gun, which is the scope of a Walther.
Yeah, he can't hurt you until he transforms.
For some reason, when Megatron turns into a tiny gun and is held by Soundwave, he can blow the shit out of Optimus Prime.
Yeah. He's not in the right form to cause any damage to anybody right now.
Weirdest bad guy ever. It's a gun. His legs are each one half of a gun handle, and the good guy's a semi truck. It just doesn't seem like a fair fight.
Yeah, they just kind of. I think there were some toys that maybe existed that
Sorry,
they had to work on.
Megatron. I don't mean to.
Sorry,
I don't mean to throw shade.
I kind of want to go back to Get Swifty because, like, I look at the translator and, like, she translates and mouths shit on the floor.
Oh, that's so funny.
How do you translate
Oh,
shit
my
on the
goodness.
floor? Morty. I want to learn that.
Whoa. Wait, one more time for me. Shit on the floor.
Oh, shit is a thumb getting pulled out of a butt.
Shit on the floor.
Now everyone knows how to say shit in sign language.
Wow, we're learning. I'm so sorry for any of the youngins out in the crowd and their parents who are. Well, you guys watch Rick and Morty. What am I saying?
Except for, well, yeah, but it's worth it. Think of if you are a parent and you're bummed out. Think of the handful of parents who are parents of maybe hearing impaired kids, and it's like those kids just got their life ratcheted up a notch. Morty, worth it.
Morty, we have a sign language person. Oh, geez, Rick, we got ourselves a real sign language person over here communicating visually like what we're talking about. I know, it's crazy. Like she's totally like interpreting like everything that we're talking about right now, Morty. Oh man, this is crazy, Rick. Like this is super crazy, Rick. Can you keep up? Is she gonna be able to keep up with me? I don't know, Morty. How fast can we go? Let's talk about zoos. Have you ever been to a zoo? I love zoos. I love panda bears. I love Japan. I like pizza. I could never. She's too fast for me.
Yeah, speaking of the youngins, I have a question from a youngin right here. Your question, sir.
How do you guys come up with titles for the episodes such as autoerotic assimilation?
I'm over here.
This child, where's this
Over here.
child?
Over here.
Oh my God, there you are.
Over here.
How do we come up with titles like autoerotic asphyxiation? What is that? What it is? It's like it's a pun on Rick's, right?
Yeah, I guess. In the 80s, TV shows like Remington Steele was a show, and so every title of every show would be like Steel of the Night and Steel of Dreams. I don't know.
Seinfeld is always like the soup guy. It's always the something. It's always the word the and then.
I guess it's just a sloppy homage to cleverness.
Yeah, we tried to like we were like, okay, let's stick with like spoofs of movies, and then it was like, well, then the Rick puns, and then it kind of just fell apart. Like we like the consistency sort of became, I guess, less consistent.
I think what we're glossing over is 2 minutes ago that kid just learned what shit on the floor is in sign language. Now he's learning what autoerotic asphyxiation is.
Yeah.
You're gonna go home a fully rounded person.
Yeah.
But it's a sci-fi. When I was like 10 years old, I'm not telling people how to raise their kids, but all the parents here that have their kids here, I think they're nailing it because look at me, look how I turned out. When I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, my parents were separated, and my mom and I didn't have a very good. We weren't emotional people. My mom's kind of a hyper-verbal, nerdy woman, and we didn't hug and like cuddle and stuff, but she read sci-fi, and we started going to sci-fi conventions together, and there would, it was like we'd go to an author, and the author would be a transgender author and like say like all kinds of crazy evocative things about, and I was 9 years old, and my mom would say, you know what that word means, you know what that means, and I don't know, I'm just high-roading us.
Well, I think you're right though. I think it's important that, younger kids, because like in the 70s, like shit flew. Like you could watch anything and your parents were like, whatever. And then like we're at a point now where it's so safe. Like everyone wants everything to be so safe. Yeah. So they flip around, they see Rick and Morty, and it's like it's not safe anymore. The younger kids.
It has a
watch
safe veneer.
Well, I never get a chance to talk to parents who won't let their kids watch Rick and Morty. I only talk to the parents who do, and I do. With the kids 8 years old, in my head I go, I'm not sure how old my kid would have to be before I let him watch Rick and Morty, but it's up to the parent, and I think that the parent is the key. I don't think there's anything you can expose your kid to.
The parent is the key.
If your parent's there, like
this is an ARG, an ARG.
Famous horror
The parent
directors.
is the
There are
key.
people whose parents let them watch horror movies when they were 3 years old.
That was me. I was going into the West Coast Video, and I would go right to the horror section, and I'm like 6 years old, and I'm coming back with like, I don't know, whatever horrible Full Moon Productions, movie
Some puppet
with
master.
or like Clive Barker's Hellraiser 3, with like a horrible sex scene where the girl gets killed. I'm 6 years old, and my mom and it's like, yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, cool.
Because she's like, he's either going to be rich or a mass shooter, and in either case, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get any back end on this deal.
it wasn't until I was 9 that all fell apart for about a week. My mom was like, all right, no more of this horrible horror movie stuff for a week.
I think half the kids in the audience are like, what's a video store?
I know, yeah. West Coast Video.
Yeah, my kid was 9 when I started watching Rick and Morty with her, and you shamed me on Twitter saying I was irresponsible.
Oh my god.
That's the right thing to do, though. That's the right thing to do. Shame anyone who
Yeah,
lets their children watch Rick and Morty.
And then secretly be like, cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
I think 9's a good age. Any smart kid at 9 years old is either being exposed to cool stuff that's probably looks a little edgy for them, for their age. The alternative is that they're a smart kid and they're just exposed to mainstream stuff, and then they have to internalize their sociopathic schism from society. Like they'll just. When I was 9 years old, I started realizing everyone was a robot. I became obsessed. I thought the world was some game that God was playing with me, and everyone was fake.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was losing my mind.
That's
I don't
amazing.
think you're that far off, really.
That's incredible.
And I think that's a thing that happens.
We all go through that. If you haven't, you will. Everyone's a robot. You're the only real person. This whole thing's a giant test.
Probably got time for
But if you
another
read Douglas
question.
Adams or something at that
Bottom?
age, then you go, oh, okay, maybe this world's real because this guy's talking about what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We're back here by the Morty amorphous head.
Right, lift it up, come on, there we go.
Oh, I see. Okay, yep. So,
My question to you is, why did you choose to narrate the court case using Rick and Morty's voice?
This guy. Well, I mean, like Harmon, you found it.
Somebody sent it to me in a text, and I read the transcript, and I thought it was just bad comedy. I thought it was somebody wrote a bad hack, like comedy thing. And then I researched it, and it was real. It was a real court case. And then I was obsessed with it, so I came into the writer's room and I read it with another writer.
Yeah, one of the writers.
I think Jane. Yeah. She read one part and I read the other part, and we were just going back and forth, and all the other writers were cracking up just because if you just read that transcript, it's insane. And then Justin came in while we were reading it, and then it was like.
And Harmon, I mean, we were super busy, but Harmon was like, if you can just find time to like just record this, and I was like, abso-effing-lutely.
And then Erica Hayes, who works so fast and clean, like as a storyboard artist, we knew, that she was able to create just storyboards that flowed with it.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, if you look at it, it's really, I think Erica did like maybe 10 panels, across that whole like 9-minute or however long it is thing, and it just worked so well. But yeah, it was hilarious. We didn't actually know if we were going to be able to show it to anybody, because it was like, what are we going to do with this? Like, we made it, and it was kind of like, well, what can we do with this?
Yeah, I'm not complaining, but so we don't get to meet Stan Lee? I thought they said Stan Lee's Comikaze.
I want to meet Stan Lee!
I thought it was going to be out here.
You thought he was moderating your panel, and they're like, guess what? You got the comic book men.
No, you're great. I'm sorry to disparage you.
No. I think we do.
You should disparage
I think everyone here gets to meet Stan Lee, right? In a spiritual sense.
Okay.
Right? Like we're all kind of. We're in Stan's house right now.
He's orbiting the Earth in a special medical platform to cope with cameo fatigue. He has a rare disorder called cameo fatigue.
We love him.
The weirdest thing about that transcript too is that, like, we went for a tour of the Rick and Morty studios yesterday. It looks like the most fun place to work ever. I don't know if that's the case.
No, it's fun, yeah,
There was a dude in like full wizard garb, like a robe and a wizard hat. It's strange, but okay, we got 1 minute. But like
that guy's been fired.
And I rewatched the. He's gone.
Wow. Yeah. That was the last day. I was like, all right. No more wizards.
I rewatched the court thing, and like afterwards, I was like, "That's somebody's real life. Like that's a guy saying that to a judge, and a judge arguing back. Like how bizarre is that?
How crazy is it that the judge gets sucked into the? There's a point where the judge becomes the aggressor.
Into like a Breakfast Club thing. He's like, "I got you for your natural born life."
That's a really good. That is exactly what happens. It's like you get the horns bender. Like it's like all of a sudden the guy with all the power suddenly is down in the dirt with you. So how is the dirty guy not the hero in that case? If you can get an elitist to get down in the mud with you, by any means necessary.
You got one more question, man? We got time for one more.
We got time for one more. Make it a good one, my friend. Right here on stage.
Oh, cool.
Hi.
Hi.
Will my buddy Bird Person be back in season 3?
No! Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
This may not be a good season for Bird Person.
Yeah, that's all we're gonna say. That is all. No, actually, well, no, that is all we're gonna say.
No!
I almost said something, but like, no, I shouldn't.
Please!
Trust me, you'll thank me. You'll thank me when you watch it yourself.
Bird Person's residuals have been unfavorable.
So we're getting the high sign. So everyone, Justin Roiland and Dan Hart.
Thank you. Peace among worlds.
Peace among worlds.
Yeah, that the parents could be bummed about. That's fine. Yeah. Sorry.